Hey Andy, so this is thank you for getting this in, and this is a really ambitious shoot that you've got here. Um, sorry, there we go. We'll get the whole thing in the lasso. Um, First, I want to commend you for that, for such an ambitious shoot. Second, I want to commend you for your composition. It's beautiful. And I was looking at your really fantastic equipment shots. These are incredibly helpful. And I was like, God, that is a tight space. When you look at it, that is a really tight space. And I'm amazed that you could sneak lighting in there. So I was really trying to think hard about what I might have done a little bit differently, because there's just a few things that are troublesome about the photo. So this is supposed to be more contemplative, and this is supposed to be more serious. So this is more melancholy, a little bit closer to the heart, and this is a little bit more standoffish. And that's the feel I get. That works. Totally works. So I was just like, oh, what would I have done differently? And honestly, like, the only thing I would have done differently is not use a wide-angle lens. I think other than that, it's actually really good. I was debating, I was looking at I would have used a natural length lens, or maybe even a little telephoto, and I know that would have given you an incredibly different crop, right? You would have missed so much of this cool space, over here. But we would have less warping, and I find the warping a little bit distracting. And just a photographer's tip, people look better with telephoto lenses. Somewhere in one of my Ground University lectures, I've got this really hilarious series of portraits I took of myself with different focal length lenses, so you can see how crazy I look with with a wide angle versus a telephoto versus a natural. And I have to try and see if I can get that series up there. But it's so funny because there's a huge difference, and you even notice it when we're not just doing a straight up portrait, we're trying to do something a little bit more atmospherical. If you've got a human there and you're using a lens with a lot of warp, it's going to affect the human, and it starts to feel a little bit unnatural. And that isn't to criticize the shoot. The shoot, like I said, is ambitious, and there's a lot of great things about it. Especially this shot right here. What's happening with your lights in this architectural space is just fantastic. It's really, really wonderful. I actually have no lighting suggestions for this image. I think this image is beautiful. I would only have used a different focal length lens. With this one, I don't know. I guess my only feeling is I think that the color hurts it a little bit. I think it could be less color, but I don't want you guys to do post in this class, so that's it. But you know what I mean. You desaturate this image and it's gorgeous. You know what I mean? So I don't have a whole lot of advice, really. It's really, I guess, honestly, it's just the focal length lens that bothers me. It's the warping. That's the only thing that troubles me. The lighting, I think, even in all your contact sheets is really interesting. I just think this particular series is amazing. All of them, every exposure has its value. And I actually kind of like the brighter ones because we have this, this light here coming down the steps, and I mean, it's just gorgeous. You could do a lot with this space. Yeah, I'm kind of into these overexposures here. I think they actually look really beautiful, especially you desaturate that, which you shouldn't do for this class, but except for the next assignment, but that's about it for the rest of the term. But you desaturate that one, and it's just going to be heavenly, in a sad way. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I would say, because it's such a tight spot. You snuck your lights in wherever you could, and you're using the walls to your advantage because they're white, and they're bouncing a lot of light back for you, and that's about it. I mean, I think there's other lighting situations that could have been interesting that weren't present here, but it doesn't, you did two distinctly different lighting scenarios for two distinctly different moods, but so my only feeling is with the soft light, I might have just laid the light on the ground and then also given her some more, a little bit more fill here, but very passive, But that's it, that's about it. Yeah, I just probably would have, you've got your light up here, and I probably would have tried something down here, but that's just different aesthetic. I'm a big fan of laying my lights on the floor, and because I don't know, it just works for me, maybe because I'm not terribly tall, but and then I hang my bounces and reflectors up really high because they're lighter, so it's like easier work for me to set up and break down. I don't know why I do that. That, and I have a tendency to knock over stands. So that's it, but I just want to say, Nice job with this. Beautiful composition, very different moods in both, and you're utilizing not only the light on your model, but also on the architectural space, which is duly noted. That's difficult to do. It's difficult to light your model and your setting effectively at the same time. That's very advanced, very nice, very well done. And also great submission here. Your write-up's perfect. I've got everything I really need on, as far as technical information. The only other thing you could have told me was your focal length, but I can guess anyways based on what I see. Great, fantastic equipment shots, exactly what I'm looking for. And you even told me which equipment shot was for which final. I probably don't really need that. I can de-engineer it, but I appreciate it when people are thorough. I really do. Really nice work here. Thank you so much. Great job. And thank you for your patience trying to get your PDF in. It can be trying at times. Well done. Thank you, Andy.